Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And you may hear me thank people again as we continue to go. Wendy was so kind in introducing me, but my name is Hirshon. I'm the newer Director of Career Services and Employer Relations. I'm sure many of you had the good fortune of getting to know Dawn Ross over many, many years. This is actually my second trip through Framingham State. I was here in 2007 to 2012, and I was fortunate enough to come back in January. So this is my first official event as a part of the Framingham State community again. So I'm excited to have this happen, and really have so many people to thank. Certainly all the employers on this call or on the Zoom experience. Thank you so much for being willing to jump into this. Jim and Stephanie from MetroWest Chamber. Really, this was an idea that germinated with my partner in crime, Wendy Davis, and reached out to Jim, who got Stephanie involved, and really wanted to build this around the more local employers. So that's really where this came from, and it's meant to be a networking opportunity for the students on this call. Thank you so much for jumping into this. I know this is you are so zoomed out at this point. So we appreciate your willingness to do one more Zoom experience, and it's a chance to have a conversation. We'll kick it off with having Jim and Stephanie share a little bit about what they do and the chamber. We're going to have each employer representative, again, in turn, share a little bit of information, their name, where they work, maybe a little history or something that they would tell their younger selves if they were in this kind of opportunity. Just so the students know, we actually gave 13 questions to the employers for them to think about and consider. No one is answering 13 questions during this call, just to kind of keep the conversation going. But ultimately, we want questions coming from the students to the employers. There are employers here that want to give you advice. There are folks that might be hiring interns and/or full-time opportunities. There are employers that just keep them in mind or realize that they actually are based in MetroWest or have a huge support in MetroWest. So the idea was to connect all of you. So I'm going to stop talking, and I just want to facilitate the conversation. I'll chime in with questions as I need to. And just to kind of have some organization around this, going to kick this over to Jim from the chamber, who I presume will then kick it to Stephanie. And then we'll try to go, I guess, in alphabetical order by employer. So is Audrey, do I see Audrey on the call yet?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So now everyone's
yes.
Yeah, so everyone's kind of now off my screen, so I apologize. So Audrey, just know you will be first up representing Access Framingham, and then we'll just continue and kind of work our way around. So Jim, kick it off, go.
Sure. I want to say thank you for everybody for coming. Our chamber board members, our chamber companies, our nonprofits, the United Way, really with Maggie and Eileen led the way to bring a number of our nonprofit partners into the conversation here. So thanks. And our chamber has been around since 1894, I believe. I was not here at the beginning, as I'm sure some of my fellow chamber members would like to think. But, the chamber really exists to support our members. And in supporting our members, we support the economy here through MetroWest. I grew up in Framingham. MetroWest is a great place to live, work, and play. We want to make sure that our businesses and nonprofits can grow here. So we have a 350 member organization. 40 members are nonprofits. We probably have about 20 to 25 larger companies, sponsors, and the rest small businesses. So a couple areas to focus on that I'm going to talk about is what we do here at the Chamber is advocacy and training. Advocacy is so important. We have people participating today, whether it's Chris from Sanofi or Brian from Myrick or the folks at Avidia Bank, Andrew and Jeremy. They participate in a public policy group that we have that really keeps tabs on what's going on in Beacon Hill so that we can see what's going on and support our members accordingly. And I won't go through all the things we do for advocacy. That's just one example. And on the training side of things, obviously we've had to switch from live trainings to webinars, but we did 16 in 2020 and we continue to do them moving forward. So those are two of the aspects of our chamber. And I would just say to anybody, any of our students here today, move forward in your career with confidence. You don't want to have any regrets that you didn't try for a position, or don't, be too self-critical, because everybody has flaws. So you want to maximize your potential, and you can't do that without being confident and feeling like you can handle more challenges as you gain experience. So if I were to tell my younger self something, that's what I would tell myself. And I'll turn it over to Steph.
Thank you, Jim. First of all, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, I've been having issues with my volume, so thank you. Again, I'm Stephanie Hirshon. I'm the Deputy Director of the MetroWest Chamber of Commerce, and I'm just going to touch upon a couple of other aspects that the Chamber does for members, specifically with advertising and networking. Advertising is very important, and some small businesses really see the Chamber as almost their marketing support. So we continue to use all social media platforms. We do dedicated e-blasts to really get the word out for our members and really help them with ribbon cuttings and all of those sort of traditional things, whether it is virtual or in person. We've learned a lot this past year to continue with those support services for our members. And then, of course, when you think of a chamber, a lot of folks do think about networking opportunities. And the virtual platforms that we've been using, we will continue to do that. Although we can gather in person safely, we are craving that. And we'll continue to do those business after hours and highlight those member companies of ours, as well as our signature events that we love to put on, especially our Taste of MetroWest. So we're hoping to continue that tradition in 2022. And finally, I would say to my younger self would be to really take advantage of the support and the services that you have at your university. And I know that whether it's in person, where we've been participating with FSU, it's a great program, and really take advantage of that. And I wish I did when I was younger. So it's great to be here as always. And I will turn it back over to you guys.
Let's go back to Audrey, if we wouldn't mind. That would be great. And then I can sort of help with the alphabetizing. So it'll be Audrey first, and then it will be Avidia Bank. Thank you.
Okay, I'm ready to go. So thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. I am not an employee, but I am actually the president of the board of directors of Framingham Public Access Corporation. And we are the entity that runs Access Framingham TV, the public access station in Framingham, Massachusetts. I was appointed to the board in 2006 and left and was asked to come back. But in addition to being on the board, I'm a producer and a host. I've been producing and hosting a program for almost 20 years. And I started doing that because I was in the cable television, radio, TV industry for about 18 years in my career. And I think that that's important for you to know. Right now I do communications consulting, but I came up through the ranks in media. And I have a degree in mass communications from the State University of New York at Buffalo. I graduated. When I graduated, I had 3 media internships under my belt. I left college with a resume that had 3 actual positions. And that helped me launch my career very successfully into the field that I wanted to be in. So I think internships are critical. I worked in the New York City advertising agency business and as a radio news reporter and TV news journalist, and then worked my way through radio, TV, and cable in marketing, advertising, PR, and business operations. And then I became politically active in policy and legislation as a parent who organized and led community efforts to advocate for education. And I ended up running for town meeting, serving on townwide PTO, and being a town meeting member for 19 years, and then chair of the Ways and Means Committee. Right now, I'm also, I was appointed by the Senate President to serve as a commissioner on the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women. And I'm chairwoman of the Budget and Personnel Committee and the COVID-19 Action Committee. And I'm also a mayoral appointee to the Framingham Council on Aging. I'm a very proud recipient of the 2019 Framingham State University Women Making History Award. And I'm a proud and fierce advocate for equality and justice. So that's just a little bit about me to answer the first question, and to go on to the other questions that you wanted us to cover. I would like to now talk a little bit about what do I like about the organization and working there, because I think I covered the other 2 already. working in television, no matter what kind of television it is, it's a way to connect with people. It's a way to be expressive. It's a way to be creative. It's a way to bring information and creativity to people. It's a way to cover things, and it's a way to create things. So I love that about being a part of an entity like Access Framingham. Some of the challenges that we face, especially with the pandemic, are that it's hard to do that and not be able to do all that in person, but technology is a part of who we are. We're always on the cutting edge of technology and using new equipment. And so having to adapt to a virtual world has been okay for us, even though it's hard not to be in person, because we're still producing programming and getting it out there to people using Zoom platforms and other platforms that are available. So although we've been impacted, we're still chugging along and getting our work done and trying to serve the community. So what kind of opportunities do we look to fill? We're always looking for interns. We're always looking for people who want to get their hands onto the equipment, get their hands onto production, be able to look at topics and ideas and things that are going on that they want to explore or dig deeper into. Like, for example, I knew that people were always uptight and uncomfortable talking about transgender. So I did an hour-long program featuring transgender people and medical professionals and people in the community that could talk firsthand about that topic. It's about connecting with people, bringing topics forward, and getting involved in producing really important programming that helps to educate, entertain, and inform people.
Audrey, I apologize. I'm going to need to cut you right there. And I apologize. I would listen to you until the cows come home. We've got a lot, like 3 minutes per person. And I didn't know it was 3 minutes. I'm sorry. I was trying to go through the questions. I know. We apologize. No problem. No, and thank you. And stay tuned. Audrey has way more to share with us. Let me now throw it over to Andrew Miller, please, from Avidia.
Hi. So I'm a commercial lender at Avidia Bank and a team leader. I have 2 development teams that report up to me. Avidia Bank is a community bank. It's actually an old community bank, about 130 years old. And we're a genuine community bank in that, as Jim and Stephanie know, we're active in the Framingham community. Really, the best way to characterize our company is we're more like a community ourselves. There are about 250 employees. We relate to each other pretty directly and easily. Everybody's approachable. There's a lot of collaboration. In some ways, it's very unique in that everybody's approachable. Because I've also worked at a big bank in the past, and it's a very different environment. So with Avidia, number one, we do hire interns for the summer at different levels. And one thing I think about when I'm trying to share with students who are thinking about getting jobs or internships, I think about things I've learned just with the idea of what would I have told my younger self. And 2 things, I guess, are important to keep in mind. Number one, Stephanie mentioned a while ago something about networking through the chamber. Well, why is networking so important? It's important because if you're working for a company and you're trying to find new business, getting to know another person in person directly or virtually in these days is a really good start for that. Secondly, even if they don't have business for you directly and immediately, they'll think about you in the future when they come across a need from somebody they know. So that's an important aspect of thinking about networking. And in fact, I've shared this with other chamber members. Years ago, I read a Harvard Business article that, where you go to school helps you maybe in the first few years, but what really helps you grow your career is your ability to develop relationships. And some people refer to as emotional intelligence. So when you're thinking about, say, applying for a job or an internship at Avidia, think creatively. Don't just send an email or a resume. Maybe go to the branch, meet some of the local folks there. If they get to know you and they get to like you, they'll be more willing to help you. So that's, I think, if I were to tell myself something when I was younger, that would be a really big thing, because that can really help you make good inroads with securing an internship or a job. We do have, thank you.
I guess I'm going to be the evil one. I'm the time watcher. So can I say thank you right there? And I'm going to pass it along to Jack from Boy Scouts, and everybody that didn't get to finish their thoughts, I'm sure it will all come back in questions that the students will ask. So thanks, Andrew, so much. And now we'll go over to Jack.
So what Andrew means is really to send a link to your TikTok site. That way you guys have, you can do your moves and all this other crazy stuff. Sorry. My name is Jack Colamaria. I'm a senior membership unit serving executive from Mayflower Council of the Boy Scouts America. We serve 62 communities in MetroWest and the South Shore, from Hull to Plymouth, Franklin to Bellingham. We have Cub Scout packs, which now have boys and girls. This thing that used to be called the Boy Scout troops, now called a Scout BSA troop, that have boys troops and girls troops. We have venture crews, and we have a Sea Scout ship, which is out of the Yacht Club in Weymouth. During the last year, during COVID, we had to sort of change what we're doing because kids weren't meeting. So I did a lot of virtual stuff. So I would drive to, I drove to a candy factory in Salem and videotaped how they make candy. Last Friday, I was at the New England Aquarium, and one of my volunteers was diving and feeding sharks and stuff. So I was creating content, which is behind the scenes, and then we record it and then sort of show it as if it was a live event to the Cub Scout kids. Working for the Scouts is sort of like college life. I could sleep till 10 if I want to. Most productive when I want to be, which is cool. I work nights and weekends, and it's a very social event. And I think making the relationship is really important. We do at our council have one opening right now. We're out of Milford, but we have this area. We have an opening for a fundraising specialist, which is responsible for raising money and selling popcorn. We sell around $900,000 in popcorn in the region, which is really cool. I started out my nonprofit career in banking, and then as a volunteer, I sort of turned into this scouting thing when my son was in it. And I'll just wrap up with one piece of advice I could pass on to kids that are graduating, if you're a senior, is to take the summer off. So I tried to tell my son, who was graduating college a few years ago, to take the summer off, go across country, do this stuff. He got a job right away working for a special effects video company. He was working 20 hours a day. I mean, he did get his name in the credits to a cool couple of movies, The Patriot, Ghostbusters, and some other stuff, but he got burnt out. And after 18 months, he quit his job and he went across the country. He took 2 months off, just cruised around and, just did all this fun stuff and sort of, not to say got out of his system, but he got part of that of his life, which was really cool. I'm really happy. And then when he got back, yeah, it was a little hard to get a job, but he got one and he's fine now. So, don't think that you have to do something right away. Enjoy life because it is short. That's all I got for you.
Thanks, Jack. Now we're on to Allie from REalty.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me as part of this conversation. I really appreciate it. It's such a nice twist from my day-to-day routine. Couple things that I'd love to pass along to our students. I've got a handful. So I've got 5 things here. Number 1, intern. Intern frequently, intern often, intern wherever you find opportunities and something piques your interest. Same thing for volunteering. Find volunteer opportunities, whether it's on campus, whether it's off campus, whether it's in something that you're really passionate about, or whether it's something you know nothing about and you want to just jump in and get your feet wet. Find an opportunity to volunteer, even if it's a one and done opportunity or a long-term opportunity. Number 3, leadership. Everybody who's here is going to look at your resume and have conversations with you in interview formats to understand where your leadership skills lie. Are they in dealing with people? Are they in problem solving? Are they in creative outlets? Are they thinking outside the box? Where are your skill sets going to best fit into a professional environment? So any opportunity you have for leadership, any positions in organizations, any place that you've worked in the past, maybe for a summer job where you've held a leadership position, even if it's like a head lifeguard, any of those types of opportunities that set you apart from other people are really valuable and what a lot of employers are going to look for. Number 4, it's been said already, network, network, network. So I applaud all of you for being here today. This is certainly one step in the process. And the last one, and this might sound kind of funny, but avoid judgment, right? We're so quick to say, oh gosh, I could never do that job. That's not something I'm ever going to be able to do. I could never work in, X, Y, or Z. So take that step back and try to reflect and figure out, maybe it's something worth trying. And especially like Jack just said, like, take the time you need to reflect and figure out what it is you want to do next. Nobody is committing to a career lifelong anymore. You're looking for your next job and your next opportunity. So the fact that, most of you are not going to be jumping into a lifelong career path is really great because it gives you flexibility to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. A little about me and my company. I am a realtor as well as the branch director for the Framingham office of ERA Key Realty Services. We're one of 15 offices in Eastern Massachusetts. We have about 350 realtors. Just a quick show of hands, does anybody know a realtor? Yep. There are about, 10,000 of us floating around the community. So chances are if you've ever moved or ever rented an apartment or ever looked at real estate, you've met a realtor. So we're abundant in this area. So that's a good thing. Also be a challenging thing because there's a lot of competition. So sort of a unique position in that you do need a license to practice real estate in Massachusetts. The good news is it's a 40-hour class and you only need a 70% to pass the test. So a lot easier than your GPAs you're dealing with right now. One of the neat things about working in real estate is you own your own life. You're an independent contractor. So you're basically self-employed under a big umbrella, and there are no limits on your growth potential. So you really get out of it what you put into it. There's no prescriptive plan. While we have some metrics and tools and opportunities, it's all types of people, it's all types of backgrounds. There's not any type of one specific kind of person that can work in the real estate industry. We do have some opportunities for internships in our offices, and we actually have 2 staff positions open in our central office in marketing and in social media. And I'm happy to share those if anybody's heading down that path. Couple tips I would give my younger self: you do you. I say this all the time, all day long to my team. You do you. Take what makes you special and run with it. Don't let anybody else tell you who you should be or how you should be, as long as you're a good person, right? Don't fear the phone. Don't be afraid to get on the phone and have a conversation. I know sending a text is great. I know sending an email is so easy. It's so easy to hide behind the screen, but jumping in and having that live phone conversation is going to get you 3 steps further than just engaging electronically. And don't miss opportunities to connect with other people. Any chance you get to meet with people are good opportunities. Thanks.
Thank you, Allie. Well said. I appreciate it. And now we're on to Rafael.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us here. And so my name is Rafael Cedeno. I'm a senior recruitment specialist for JRI, or Justice Resource Institute. We are a nonprofit human services agency, and so we have over 100 different programs and services within the Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island areas. We have with that, we have like residential programs, group homes, community-based services, public health services, behavioral services, foster care, pretty much anything that has to do with mental health, we do. And so right now we are currently looking for residential counselors, anyone that is interested in nursing, special education, social work. And so with that, just kind of a little bit about myself. I started in JRI my senior year at Framingham State. And so from there, I started as a res counselor, which is an entry-level position. You get to really gain a lot of skills working with students that have had mental health issues or complex trauma histories. And so with that from there, within 6 months, I was an assistant supervisor. Within 2 years, I was a senior supervisor. And then from there, I went on to different departments, really helping the kids develop skills and finding a sense of self. And then from there, I went on to overseeing a residence, helping out with, just maintaining safety of the program, And then now I'm in this position where I am actively recruiting and trying to find people that are passionate about, being in this field and helping others. And so with that, we welcome any degrees. We are focused on social sciences, but we will train, the right people that are looking to, help others and want to be there for our kids. And so one thing that I would probably tell my younger self is take as much information as you can as you are in those entry-level positions, and always be open to opportunities that, might open up doors for a career, especially with a lot of the agencies and other jobs. Take advantage of the benefits too, especially if they do have educational benefits or like 401k or anything like that. A lot of times when I was 21, 22 years old, I didn't really know anything about a 401k or anything like that, but that's something that's really important, is to, really take advantage of those, because, especially for JRI, we do give tuition reimbursement. We do have partnership schools, and especially Framingham State, where we do have a partnership with their special education program too. And so usually, from there, if anyone is interested, I always say that we can always touch base and, have a little quick phone call and see if we can find you something.
Thanks, Rafael. Appreciate all the insight. And now we're on to Brian.
Hi, everybody. Thanks very much for the opportunity. My name's Brian Casaceli. I am a employment law attorney at Myrick O'Connell. Myrick's probably one of the largest firms in the state outside of Boston, where our presence is primarily Central Mass. So we are heartfelt in the community. I grew up here, thoroughly enjoy living here and working here as well. We're a full service law firm, and by full service, I mean basically everything except for criminal law and immigration law. We were founded in 1916, so we've been around for just over 100 years now, and consider ourselves a pillar in the legal community here in Central Mass. If anyone is considering law school, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to discuss it further. I'm a member of the firm's recruiting committee here, and we're always looking, to develop, a nice pool of talent in the area, for future prospects down the line. I was a political science major myself back in 2011, which I thought was a nice segue into law school. But if you are interested in the profession, I would encourage anyone to get an internship in a local nonprofit legal aid. You can also work for a law firm or a government entity itself, performing services in perhaps the general counsel's office, where I actually got my start. I would say advice to my younger self: we all make mistakes in our lines of work, and don't be so hard on yourself, because it's going to happen. We're all human. It's inevitable. Just learn from it and move forward and correct the wrong. So happy to discuss offline too. I know our time's a bit limited, but if anyone is interested in pursuing law school, by all means, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to discuss.
Thank you so much, Brian. And now we're on to Christopher Heeley.
Hello, how are you? Let me start my clock. So my name is Chris Heeley, and I am the Culture Council lead for Sanofi in Framingham. And we are a biologics manufacturing facility here, and I'm on that side. Sanofi is actually a pretty big employer here in the state, and I think we have around 3,000 employees in Massachusetts alone. Just looking at our website today, I think there were 253 open positions across Northborough, Waltham, Cambridge, and Framingham. So we've got a lot out there. We've got a lot of opportunity for people who are just entering from college and entering the workforce, and we have co-op opportunities and internships, which are also highlighted on our website there as well. So I definitely encourage anybody who is either graduating or looking to get into a co-op or internship to check out the Sanofi webpage when you go to do that. A little bit about myself. I am from upstate New York, so I'm not a local Massachusetts person, but my mother and father were from here, from Northborough and Shrewsbury. And so I was always coming. It was always like a second home. I ended up attending the University of Colorado and had a lot of fun out there, and started in what used to be Genzyme in Cambridge as a temporary employee in 1999. That was after sort of doing a lot of what Jack said, which was kind of like taking the summer off in the 10 years from when I was supposed to graduate to when I actually joined corporate life. I would run a restaurant out in Provincetown and then sort of take the winter off and travel around and meet up with friends and just see the country and do all of that. So it took me a long time to sort of get into the corporate world. And I started going through temps, and it was great because 20 years after I first temped at Genzyme, which is now Sanofi, I'm still here. And I have gone through a crazy career arc of administrative assistant to process engineer to manufacturing associate to supervisor to manager to a global role of implementing lean manufacturing practices, getting to live in France, and coming back and working in communications, and ending up as the culture and engagement lead for the site of Framingham here. So this is great. And what we do here is we make drugs for very rare patient populations, under 5,000 globally, which is crazy, but we keep people alive. And it's really unbelievably rewarding. We've also been making the COVID vaccine, and so that's getting a lot of press. Hopefully we'll get it out there soon so we can join the race and all of that. And, and if I had to say, I like what Ali said. You could never pause and think I could never work at ... If my career arc is anything, it's take that chance, jump at that opportunity, and try everything. I'm not a mathematician. I can't really spell science, but I work in this industry, which is crazy. And I've been here for 20 years, and I jumped at every opportunity that came along, and it's been unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable journey. So that's my overview on myself and Sanofi.
Terrific, Chris. Thanks so much for sharing that. And we are finally with Maggie McNeill, our own beloved former graduate assistant who did everything the Career Services Office needed with aplomb, expertise, and a smile. We love you, Maggie. Welcome back. Take it away, Maggie, for United Way and Call to Talk.
Look at this, quite the greeting or introduction, not greeting. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is so nice to see you all, even over Zoom. I love it. And yes, as Wendy Davis mentioned, I'm sorry, but if you guys, well, I know you're all involved in career services students because you're on this call. Take advantage. They are literally fantastic. They will go that extra mile. They genuinely want to help you. So just in case you didn't know. But I am a double alumni from Framingham State. So I got my bachelor's in psychology and my master's in counseling. So just couldn't get enough. And just a little bit about my history and how I got to where I am.
Maggie, I think we're having some trouble with your audio. Maggie, I think we had a little trouble. Couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So awesome. Well, so a little bit more about me. I started off as a volunteer at Call to Talk, actually. So we are an emotional support suicide prevention hotline. We are located right down the street for you Framingham State folks. We are on 46 Park Street. Just a little news as well. We are operational on site. As you can see, we've actually been able to be operational on site throughout the pandemic. And a little bit more about what we do here. We provide support to individuals who are feeling suicidal, but we also really believe in the preventative measure, right? So trying to get them when they're here instead of only being here. So, just really learning, if you were to complete an internship here, as we have had many interns over the years, undergraduate and graduate alike, you would learn a lot about safety planning, suicide risk assessment, also active engagement and communication can be applied to majors across the board. Right now, we have our internship positions for the summer listed on Handshake. We also offer internship positions in the fall, January, next June. But in case you guys don't know, Handshake is also an awesome resource to take advantage of. And my role here really is that I get to do something that I really love to do. I get to support the volunteers and interns when they come in, right? So I get to meet you guys at the information session. I get to help you with training along with experienced volunteers. And then you're stuck with me to debrief, decompress, because here we really believe in, of course, providing support to callers in the hotline, but also making sure that you guys, whether you're a volunteer or an intern, feel supported yourself, because that is just so important in any position you're in. And ultimately here, I think because we really are volunteer and intern based, it's pretty much the environment where everybody wants to come in. A lot of people are working full time and making time for this in their lives. So we really try to, present that message. You get a really good experience if you're interested in mental health with a variety of ages. We don't discriminate callers based on age, gender identity, sexual orientation, presenting concern. Definitely, if you're interested in mental health, you will get a variety of calls here. We provide a lot of support. We don't just throw it to the wolves. We have a 3-week training, and then we have you work with a volunteer mentor. We have continuous support because we understand how important that is. And I'm definitely available. I can put my email on the chat. We have an information session coming up in May. So just kind of like a little check-in, get to learn more. So I'm happy to chat with anyone, definitely. Like I mentioned, if you're interested in internships or even just a volunteer experience, like I mentioned, I started off here as a volunteer and then just really fell in love and worked part-time throughout grad school, and then there was an opportunity. So that being said, to wrap up, first and foremost, continue to take advantage of career services. I cannot tell you that enough. They genuinely want to help you. Like, I'm not even just saying that from like, oh, someone who works there. Like, I went there as a student, and like, it's rare that you see this level of dedication. So just take advantage of it.
We paid her very well to say that.
Paid me. Oh my God, yes. In coffee. Wendy pays me in coffee. But yeah, so again, so really just take advantage, and like has been echoed throughout this conversation, if there's an opportunity and it makes you nervous, just say yes. I tried so many different things throughout college. I was a tour guide, I was a phone operator, I volunteered here, I worked in career services, interest, which if you're looking for any customer service, also try that. So again, just really take advantage of all the opportunities. If it scares you, probably even more reason to do it. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Now we'll send it right back to Rich, who can sort of facilitate how we get our students to start talking.
So this is the opportunity, right? We have just under 20 minutes left for the conversation. Really appreciate everyone's sharing their background and advice to the students. Also appreciate the fact that if you're monitoring the chat, some of you have already started putting in your contact information. Please continue to do that. We would also, you can opt out, but we're going to presume you're going to opt in. After this is over, we would love to also be able to share your contact information with the students that are on this call. So if for some reason you don't want us to do that, please just let us know, and we will not do that. And again, keep sharing in the chat. So students, it's up to you now. You have a bunch of friendly people who will answer any questions that you have. Feel free, someone step up and ask a question and get some great answers. And a hush falls upon the crowd.
Nadia,
I love you. I love you. Do it. Go.
Thank you so much for that opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I would like to ask Christopher, since I'm very interested to work for Sanofi. So maybe I would introduce myself first. I'm so sorry. So my name is Maggie McNeill. I'm an MBA student from Framingham State University with a concentration in management. I have a great opportunity from here, a great experience from here, from the United States in accounting and management. And I also have experience from Morocco, because I'm originally from Morocco. So I would like to ask Christopher, what would be the one advice that you would give to anybody who's really hungry to get their foot in the door and work for Sanofi?
Yeah, I would. That's great question. Great question. Welcome from Morocco. I've met a couple of people from Morocco, especially when I was living in Lyon. We had a bunch of people who were Moroccan and they came up. And I have a friend who just went down there and went kite surfing, I think, which is a big thing they do down there. The best thing to do is to make connections like this, right? Because it will help you get your foot in the door. Absolutely. That and apply. If you know people in the community, there are a lot of people that work for Sanofi in this area, but if you know somebody that can get you in and can make that connection with the hiring manager, even if it's just a conversation, and don't be afraid to reach out to someone to get that conversation, right? So I think I found that the more times I've reached out for people to make the connection with someone else, say that's in the Dupixent wing or in the rare disease ring or the blood ring, they've all said yes all the time, right? So I had someone applying for a position and unfortunately didn't get it or even get through the process because they were in the process of actually making the offer the day I sent the request. But the hiring manager said, just connect me with this individual and I will make that connection. So, you can utilize me and reach out and then we'll make that connection and I'll see what I can do. I always tell people to go to the Sanofi website and check out and see what available positions are out there. And even if you don't get the position, making that connection will always help.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for showing interest.
Sure.
Another brave soul out there, just raise your hand. I see Ben.
Benjamin, yeah, go.
My name is Benjamin Teal. I am a business major and a history major. I also wanted to talk to Christopher Heeley from Sanofi. I really appreciate that you called us a local mass person instead of our other colloquialisms. But I'm also from the Cape, so I'm familiar with Provincetown, and you've had such a really varied career arc, is how you put it.
Yeah.
And what I was really starting to wonder is, since I imagine you're not like a STEM major, right? Science, technology.
No.
How do you make like a meaningful impact in a company that's dominated by that field?
Well, it's funny that you say that because it's really, there are a lot of scientisty people here, right? But where I have worked has been in the manufacturing field, right? So we actually hands on pipes connecting, keeping track of data, actually making the physical drugs that we have for our rare disease population. And you'd be surprised at just how many people have no science background whatsoever, right? But they get in and certainly on the manufacturing side, get in and just work really hard to learn a new, it's the new manufacturing basically, where it's like you think wrench and socket. This is wrench and socket in science, right? And you learn this stuff over time. And I never knew what biotechnology was before I started this. I think it was the attorney friend here on the call who was a political science major before he went into law. I was also a political science major, but I still don't even know what that means, right? So it was just sort of to get through college and then utilizing my life experiences and just drive to learn more and more and more. Once I got into the work world, I think led me down this path. And as I said, don't hesitate, jump at any opportunity that comes up. That's what I did. And I just learned more and more about it. I'm still not strong in science. I don't understand math, but I don't need to, right? So what I need to do here is show up, make sure that we're making the product, get all the people behind what we're doing, and make sure people are engaged and having a great time working for this company, right? That's where I am in my current role. And that's, if you show up for work every day with a positive attitude, that's where you'll eventually get to, right? You can't just show up to learn, show up and be positive, and you will get to wherever you want to be, yeah. So great question. I hope I answered it. I tend to ramble,
I appreciate it. Someone coming from a liberal arts background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
For what it's worth, guys, I was also a political science major. Papers on the wall right behind me.
There's 3 of us on the call, by the way.
And all have upstate New York connections.
That's right. Cooperstown.
Ithaca.
Oh yeah, Ithaca's gorgeous.
We've got these fabulous partners on the call, you students. There's got to be more questions. Caroline, go ahead, Lanni.
Hi, so my name is Caroline Lanni. I'm a senior communications major and journalism minor at FSU. So I'll be going into the workforce in a month and a half. So that's exciting and also very scary. Thank you all for giving me so much information today, and I appreciate everybody here. And I do have a question for Audrey Hall at FATV. So the question I have basically is, what are the 3 main skills a student should have going into the TV production/media field? I right now am interning for Framingham Source and as a reporter and journalist, so that's taught me so much. I found it on Handshake, so very good resource I got there. And yeah, so I also helped and volunteered in the summer during my time at FSU at my local TV station in Fitchburg. So I kind of see the same things at FATV, so I would love to talk to you more about that as well.
Great. Well, I think you're entering a wonderful field. I've had a full career in it and never regretted it for a day. Always been very happy in it. So good luck to you with that. I will say that first and foremost, you have to really be inquisitive and want to connect people with information and share information and help inform people. I think that that's really, really important. Being able to form those critical relationships as well, so that people want to talk to you and want to share information, that's very helpful. And some creativity along the way with just a real drive to work very hard and get the job done. That'll take you very, very far. Being able to just connect with people, ask a lot of questions, make them feel comfortable, make them want to talk to you, by letting it be about them and not always about you, and sharing information and making sure that you're helping to inform people. And being creative, all of that together with a really good work ethic will take you very, very far.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you, and reach out if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
10 more minutes. This is your opportunity. I feel like I'm on a game show. Come on. Who's next coming down?
This is Jack. Can I ask the students a question? Can you guys raise your hand if you have a good LinkedIn profile? Who's got a good LinkedIn profile? Just a couple? I myself think that's important. I might be older, but you never know who you can connect it with. I was out of work for a couple of years and I got my profile up to 1,000 connections, human resource managers at all these different places where I tried to get a job. I didn't get in, but I still made a good connection. And if you want to look up people, you never know who you might be able to get in, because trying to get in that door is really hard. I just looked up Christopher Heeley and he was hard to find. And Sanofi, I looked up Chris and Christopher Heeley while I was waiting, but it's like one of those things, you connect with them and then all of a sudden you try to find someone else that you happen to know that's his friend or there's something or whatever. You guys need a way in the door. So I would just try everything you can.
That's actually really great advice as well. We're trying to make sure we have all our managers go on and create a very strong LinkedIn profile as well. A lot of positions that become available, co-op opportunities, things like that, are advertised on LinkedIn. They're also on Twitter and some on Facebook. So I definitely recommend doing that and making those strategic connections through LinkedIn as well, because you would be surprised at just how many people are receptive to having that conversation through them.
And I'm going to say something as one of the career counselors at Framingham State. I love introducing LinkedIn to students. It's just an amazing tool. So if you are interested and you need to make a more impressive profile, I actually have a video that talks about how college students can make an impressive LinkedIn profile.
Along those lines too, I just want to add, Google yourself, see what comes up. Most employers that you meet with are going to do a quick little search to see who you are, what you're about, what your other social media channels look like. So if that first picture on Instagram isn't something you want an employer to see, you might want to update.
Great words of advice, Allie. I couldn't have paid you to say that more eloquently. Thank you.
It's literally the first thing I do when we get a candidate is Google them to see what is there.
So that just goes to show, be careful of what you put online, because, especially as students, think about your future before you post.
No,
Go ahead,
great
Aud.
advice. We actually have another student question. Please go ahead.
Favor.
Hello, good day. My name is Favor Nadi. I am a junior at Framingham State University, major in business management and a double minor in international business and Chinese. I have a question for Ali. I am interested in real estate as well, but I'm not doing it right now, so I'm not really sure like what steps to take. But my first question for you is basically, what's your favorite part about working in real estate?
I love that question. That's one of my favorites. There's so many things that I enjoy. So I worked as a real estate agent for about 15 years before I moved into the management role. So I'm going to split it up a little bit. So working in real estate sales, residential sales, the best part was the glory of getting someone through the process of purchasing their first home. Still love working with first-time buyers. It's really rewarding experience because you're their guide and you're their counselor and you're their teacher, and you just have so many different hats that you wear throughout the process. And then when I moved into the management role a few years ago, it's actually bringing brand new agents into the business who know nothing about real estate, who know nothing about mortgages, who don't do math, who don't do contracts, and sort of like molding them into a future real estate star. So hope that sort of put you on the right path. But if you wanted to talk further, certainly, shoot me a message. Let me know when you have time to connect. I'm happy to chat with you.
Okay, thank you. And then second question would be, what kind of skills would be needed for someone that hasn't had any prior knowledge or experience in that field to start working there?
That's an easy one. A positive attitude and willingness to learn.
Okay. Thank you.
Calculator's handy too, but not vital.
Great.
Ali, I see Ali has a question. Ali Raza.
Hello, my name's Ali. I'm a finance student at Framingham. I'm a senior, and I have to admit that I am very late to the game. I haven't been able to get my feet wet or get in the door to like any internships or anything. But I want to change that. I don't exactly have a question, but I just wanted to mention that like I was doing a little bit of research before this meeting, and I was looking through all of the career pages for all of the partners listed, and so I came across United Way, and I noticed that they had a finance intern position. And so I just wanted to mention, I know Maggie, you aren't really in that kind of department or anything, but I just really like your energy, and you seem very eager to talk about your the company and everything. So you probably know nothing about the whole finance intern remote internship or anything, but I just wanted to mention that I was very interested in learning more and just like just reaching out.
Oh, that's great. And that is another really smart way to kind of say, oh, I know you're kind of connected through. So definitely feel free. I put my email in the chat as well. So we're kind of interesting. So without going too much into depth, basically we're on the 4th floor, but we're like through United Way and Mass 211. And the United Way folks are on the 2nd floor. So if you wanted to send me, just like a quick email and your resume, and obviously I'm on site, so I could go check it out and see what they're looking for and pass your information along. Yeah?
Okay, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I have your email. Yeah, so I'll be sending you that email.
That's how the magic happens. That's how it all happens. Yay.
Definitely.
So for the other students on this call, and I appreciate your comments, Ali, because you were willing to put out there that you feel like you're late to this party or late to the game. So if any of the other students on this call are feeling that way, you can jump in at any point, right? You jumped in today, keep jumping in, keep interacting with the employers on this call, interact with the career services office. So it's never too late to get started. And if anyone is about to graduate in May, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, you can continue to work with us beyond your graduation. For folks that aren't graduating, you have a little more time on your side. So take advantage of us. That's my infomercial for the moment.
Audrey has something to say. I see her hand up.
Thank you. I just wanted to add, I'm also a mother of a recent college grad, so I know it's all very current to me, what you're experiencing. And I want to say a couple of things. Number one, if you're late to the game, that's okay. Everybody's on their own schedule. And don't feel that you have to be like everybody else. Move at your pace and do what's right for you and experiment, try different things that you might like. You don't even have to know right now exactly what you want to do. And it's okay if you don't know. You can try out different things. If you don't like them, you can switch to something else. I've reinvented myself and changed my career many, many times. And it's always led to something. The next step has always led to something better. And the other thing I just want to say is be really dependable. When you do form that relationship with an employer, don't let them down. Don't just show up when you're supposed to show up and come ready to do the work with a good attitude, because that's 50% of it right there. And the other thing is to think in your mind all the time, what's in it for them? Why me? What do I bring to the table for them? And tell them what you bring to the table for them and what makes you different and what makes you worth the investment. It's okay to do that. Whatever's special about you or whatever you like about yourself that you think others would like, share that with them. And just do what's right for you and know that this is all a life journey and you'll take many different roads along the way and make the most of all of them.
Wonderful words. And I see Erin has her hand up. Wonderful. Thanks, Audrey.
Sure.
Hi, so I'm a history and early childhood education major. So potentially a little out of place, or at least in my current frame of mind of what I was looking to do. But I just wanted to jump in and say that I really appreciate everyone's wisdom and all of your words. And I just thought it was great advice all around and great to listen to and really positive energy from everyone. So I really wanted to say thank you to everyone for doing this.
Thank you, Erin. We love the positive feedback. Thank you so much. I see the clock says 2:30. I want to be conscious of everybody's times and schedules, and we thank you for everybody contributing. I feel like this conversation could have gone at least another hour, so maybe we'll try to do it again in some other kind of capacity. I'll turn it back over to Rich, who can, sort of finalize our things.
Yeah, similarly, thank you so much for everyone's participation, the employers, the chamber, the students, really taking a risk with us and putting yourselves out there. I would be remiss if I didn't self-promote our next Career Services and Employer Relations event, which is a virtual internship and career fair taking place on the 21st of April, 2 to 4. I just threw the link in the chat. It's been referenced before, starting off with Maggie, but the event can be found inside Handshake. And yes, Handshake. So check it out. It is a more formal event. It's virtual, but less of this format, more of what you might imagine a career fair would be, but still a great chance to speak with employers, listen to presentations, have one-on-one conversations with employers. So take advantage of it. And again, we're available to you. So take advantage of anything that we can help you with, whether it's your LinkedIn profile, your resume, getting more comfortable with networking, whatever it might be that you think we could assist with, reach out through Starfish, get in touch with us.
And can I say one more thing too? As far as the chamber goes, they have held, and I'm assuming when COVID is not restrictive, there'll be many more networking events. Jim, do you want to maybe kind of say one more thing about could Framingham State University students participate in any of your networking events if they weren't chamber members, or you'll let us, they can get on the mailing list for your newsletter maybe so they could know about things?
Sure. So if you would like to be on our mailing list, jim@metrowest.org will set you up. We are doing regular speed networking and regular webinars, one each per month. And in our speed networking, we highlight a business, an at-risk business, if you will, from the hospitality, restaurant, or retail industry, where they provide a video. They talk about what they're doing to abide by COVID guidelines. And then we jump into networking. So you get a chance to speak along with, 25 to 30 business people typically at these speed networking events. And we love to have you as part of that group. So again, just, and I'll put it in the chat, but it's jim@metrowest.org, and we'd be happy to have you join us.
Thank you. If there's no further questions, I guess I can, I guess I'm the controller of the buttons here. I guess I can close this meeting, but just anybody want to say anything before I say goodbye? We're good. Thank you all.
Go Rams.
Go Rams. Thanks, everybody. It was a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
So much.